Hi, this is Olaf. We are now 7 weeks away from Kona. I'm 50. I won my age group in St. George and working hard to get back on the podium in Kona. So this is episode 35 of my journey, my road to the Ironman World Championships in Kona and St. George. Right, bit of an update, but training has been better. Finally seem to be sort of back on track. I've had basically just finished a week of 24 hours swimming. I had another ear infection, so I'm still struggling with some infections also between the legs, maybe due to the seat. There's sort of a lymph node or something that was a bit infected, and so still not sort of 100%, but was able to get a decent 24-hour week in with around 13K swimming, so that was a little bit less. I had to cut a couple of sessions short because of my ear infection. I didn't want to do too much, but it wasn't so bad. I was still able to get my earplugs in for the swim, and also not ideal either, but I used antibiotic eardrops quite quickly, so it was sort of 2-3 days of discomfort. But I did one really good session in the one pool, which is sort of slightly short, but 25 meter pool with 2 times 10 times 100 meters coming in sort of between 120 and 121. So that was really happy, leaving on 2 minutes. So that was a great session. So the swim is going okay. On the bike, I almost did 500K, so back to some volume. I had some issues with the bike. First, the rear brake sort of didn't work anymore because of the humidity. Also in my gym, it's not sort of perfectly isolated, so there was a plate under the brake that sort of oxidated, and so it moved a bit and started to crack, and so the brake, which was sort of moving, got stuck basically, and so I had to put some other parts in. I have to check, by the way, if that works well, if that is fine. So the brake works, but there was a little bit of a panic, because if the 2 small screws are also completely, so you can't take this piece out even if you get a replacement, which also would be complicated, sending that over from Germany. But that is fixed, and now the arm pads, because again of the humidity, etc., the glue doesn't work anymore. So I do have some replacement, but for the moment I just put some tape around. So the 4-hour ride I was supposed to do outside on Wednesday. When was it? It was Friday. I only did 1 hour outside, and then because of the pads, I basically did the rest inside with 30 minutes with door open, so aircon on, so that not as hot as outside, but still with sort of almost the same humidity. I did 30 minutes at 295 watts, so that was, was getting close to 160 at the end heart rate, which sort of the maximum, but that was good. And today I did a 5-hour bike outside, where at the end, it's sort of 30 degrees, feeling like 36 with 75% humidity. So, sort of Kona vibes, where it doesn't matter at the end of how slow you get, you go, the heart rate, it doesn't want to go really down anymore. So I have to do more of those to get used to that again. But that was pretty good also with 180k under 5 hours, and I did 4 times in the humidity and the heat. It was supposed to be between 220 and 240 watts. Again, my power meter is a little bit, it's low, because I do go fast, but 240 is on the power meter that I have is too much, so it's more between 220 to 230. I think something that I could that I have to target in a really hot and humid environment. Not really more than that. So that is what I did. More around 220 watts average for the 4 times 30 minutes with 10 minutes in between. But happy with that session. And on the run, also going back up. So did 55k this week. Quite happy with that. Obviously we have to build on that. And there was one session with 3 times 4 kilometers. More sort of steady tempo pace, and we did that around 4:10 pace. Again, with at the moment here it's really humid as well, so that's it's not super easy to do those sessions. The heart rate creeping up quite fast, but that was pretty good. My legs sort of still, have to stretch, etc. But went to see the physio 3 times a week. So that's fine, and I did 30k easy, just under 5-minute pace, so that also I survived that yesterday. So kind of back on track again. I feel my head is not 100%. We are in the process of buying a house, which also is a little bit stressful, whether it's the right choice or not, and sort of not as it's not great in order to be really focused on my Kona prep, but I had one shitty night because of that. Not really great for recovery, but everything seems to be going in the right direction. Bike today was hard, but now it's been a couple hours, and feeling pretty good right now. So happy with that. Hope nothing else is gonna sort of come up, but the leg seems to be good. I can start to really push on it. I still feel that it's afterwards it's a bit tight, and I still feel it during the bike and when I'm in the air position at the beginning on the bike as well. But during the run I feel it also a little bit, but it's more like like something like a niggle that you have, and I just have to stretch a lot to relieve it, and so far so good. So only 7 weeks to go. The next weeks are going to be critical to get some good training in. Hopefully we're going to be able to really focus on the training and not have too many other distractions. I also wonder whether all the infections and all that was also maybe also linked to the fact that I was not 100% focused, and the body just doing its thing because of the lack of focus. But hopefully back on track, and looking forward to the next week. Still definitely some work to do, especially on the runs. Definitely some long rides outside in order to get used to the heat, because the body's gonna adapt. And so can't wait for the next week. Bike kicker. So we did the same. So with 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. So 4 times 10 minutes, increasing in terms of watts. Today we have 15. So this is warm up at 200 watts. And then the idea is do 15 at 250, 15 at 285, and 15 at maybe 315, 320. Let's see, 315. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, good session and ready to suffer a bit. Alright, the second one, 250 watts, 122 heart rate, 122, 125, 7 more minutes to go. Alright, the third one, 285 watts, 8 minutes in, starting to sting. Heart rate now at 145. Yeah, the last 15 minutes gonna be tough. Really at the limit. 8 minutes to go. Come on. I made it. 162. Heart rate at the end. Jeez, tough one. Happy I was able to finish. Wasn't too sure. Alright, today I want to talk about recovery and rest, and that's obviously super important. You know, you only get stronger not during exercise actually, but rather afterwards. You know, when your body sort of decides that it wants to compensate and get stronger. So me, what works ideally is, you know, when I go to bed sort of on a, you know, quite strict routine. So between 9 and 9:20 I go to bed, get up around 5 or 5:30. That's sort of ideal for me. And then trying to have a nap, ideally after my morning session. You know, I just go back to bed. Now, you know, there are several things that can sort of impact the quality of the recovery. Number one, when there's stress and other stuff on in my mind. As I mentioned, we are looking sort of at a house, or we've put an offer in a house at the moment, so that you know, has meant I haven't slept very well a couple of nights, and I'm also not, for some reason, in some kind of good routine where I'm able to easily have a nap. Now I still, you know, lay in bed for an hour or something, just to recover, so that you know, sort of good enough. But ideally, you know, you do a hard exercise and then you're able to sort of sleep for 45 minutes. But yeah, at the moment that's sort of not really working so well. And so my advice is to, you know, avoid as much stress as you can, whether it's job or don't put additional stress, you know, sort of yourself on your plate. If you're in the preparation for a big event in the weeks before, and you know, I know it's not easy for lots of people to have a nap in the middle of the day or after training, especially if, you know, if you have a full-time job. But obviously on weekends or whenever you can, try to also put that. To me, it's really making you know, it's always made a big difference when I'm able to sort of do that. Obviously, also maybe one point, if you take too much caffeine during training, that's typically difficult to sleep right afterwards. So take that into account, and, you know, avoid caffeine on the easier sessions when you don't really need it to. And you know, it's more about getting used to it. And but those are, yeah, my tips for recovery and avoid stress and take a nap. Alright, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for being part of the journey as usual. Waiting for your comments, and stay tuned.